We gotta work with Abo on that.
Hey, I'm just glad he's giving us stuff.
You know? Yeah, it's better than no stuff at all.
Yes,
for sure.
Exactly.
Yes, it is.
No, they need to ride this wave, a wave of Twitch Prime.
Yeah.
Well, Max and I can be brief. I couldn't even get it all out. We're never brief.
That's fine.
Okay, I have tweeted out, retweeting from various accounts.
Gladio Pod. That is too awesome. Oh, I got a very important tweet.
Yay.
Where from?
All right, and I'll hit the Discord channels.
I'll say, hey, can you hear us?
Well, usually that's Max and Simo. Like, hey, can you hear us? All right, sorry, you're going to get pinged a few times. I'm just going through the channel.
Comcast courtesy reminder.
Sorry, hold on. Let me mute that.
Guaranteed arrival between
Yes. They keep calling me.
They want to make sure you know you're arriving.
Make sure you're there during that time at all times. Never mind the fact that we're going to come randomly and probably be 5 minutes late anyway.
Yeah. I just don't want them to. Don't want this. To be one of those that like, if you don't press 1 here, we're gonna not come.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sorry.
It is all good. All right, podcast. We'll get the show on the road. I will load the live page. Yes, I see Max and his stronghold on the live page. And I hit play. And is Max moving? Yep, perfect. We're good. All right. Let me reduce that down. Yay. Okay. Then we're good. All right, Rage check. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We gotta go because Max has a date with Carol Danvers.
That's right. All right, we're gonna go in 5, 4, 3. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
Oh boy, do we have your community updates?
Hold on.
Oh, so we can start over.
Yeah, because so I moved the notes over to its own section of the screen. It's not showing on the screen.
Oh no!
It's literally,
we've lost the notes.
No, it's. What is this? What is going on?
So it went to like a virtual screen.
Here, I will show you. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So can you see? I click that.
Right.
Nothing comes. This is the notes. I can see a miniature version of the notes.
Do you have a Windows key?
I do.
Like do Windows left or right or Windows up?
Yeah.
Might like minimize it. Docket. Rocket.
Nope.
That's weird.
Nope.
What do you mean nope? we don't accept nope.
Okay, I went ahead and closed that, and let's try that again.
There we go.
It's kind of hard for me to talk along when I can't see what I'm talking along to.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
Let's try this one more time.
There we go.
Nope, it's gone.
Oh, where'd it go?
Okay, so I'm not going crazy. You all can see it.
Yeah, we saw it.
It looked like it snapped when when you put it over there, it tried to snap. Can you just make it smaller so it doesn't snap? Doesn't hit
Oh, you know what? I bet you. Hold on. I think I know what's going on. Haha! I have a phantom screen. What are you doing? Where are you coming from? Okay. Hey, look, there's no.
There you go. All right.
Okay.
I was right. It did go to another screen. All right.
But I have one giant screen. I don't have more than screens.
Yeah, I know. All right.
Let me stop screen saving. Okay, you see me now. Okay, now I'm ready.
Yeah. All right, here we go. going live in 5, 4, 3. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
Oh boy, do we have your community updates?
Also, New Braid is on fire.
Our free company is Prime Company.
Reasonable reasons are redacted.
And we have Seema and Max, who are here to talk to us about AIE in SWTOR.
All that and more coming up right now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to episode 315 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alia Iacta Est gaming community. The Die has been podcast. This is Tetsemi. To my left and up is McCullough.
Hey guys, I left some lemon lime basil shortbread cookies in the guild kitchen.
Tasty.
Awesome. And to my right, literally to my right, way out there, is Mewcow.
Greetings, guildies and gamers.
All right. This week we are joined by special guests Seema and Max, who are here to talk to us about AIE in SWTOR. Welcome.
Hello. Glad to be here.
Boop.
Yay.
Beep, boop.
So let's go around the room and find out what everyone has been up to this week. So randomly picking Max. What have you been up to in or out of game this week?
Oh, I've been up to quite a few things. So we'll talk a little bit about the Star Wars stuff, of course. That's where I've been spending most of my time, but not all. So I've also been spending some time with New Braid in World of Warcraft. I've been checking in Final Fantasy, mostly leveling up some characters. Yeah, I know we'll talk about that. I log in at least once a week into Elder Scrolls, but haven't. I've been falling down. I missed MFN on Friday, and then let's see. I've got a secret alpha game that I played a little bit with, and then I've got Star Trek. That I checked in on earlier in the week as well, and they're having a thing tonight. So tons of stuff going on across all the divisions, which makes it really fun.
Awesome.
Yay. And Seema, what have you been up to in or out of game?
Well, I gotta say, every time I come here and do this, three thoughts come to me, and one is I really, really want Mewcow's headset.
Yeah.
This one's a new one because the existing one I have to figure out why it's not giving me audio on both sides. But I can.
Wait, you have a backup headset with cat ears on it.
This is the backup. This is the backup. This is the original.
And he can remove the ears.
Yeah, these are removable.
I totally want McCullough's glasses.
Oh, thank you.
Combine the two, and that's what Seema will look like.
There you go.
And Tets, I just really like your haircut. It would be a bold move for me to go with it, but do it. I'm willing.
Yeah.
You know what? Short, funky hair is so much fun. I had a faux hawk for a while.
I like it. Yeah, maybe
Yeah, go for it.
So anyway, we're going to talk about SWTOR later, but I will just say, in terms of WoW, I'm so excited for the next raiding with leashes, which is coming out this week.
Yes.
So like the Mist of Pandaria raids, which I didn't play during this, so I don't really know those raids.
Oh, so this will be all new to you.
I've been in there to do various things, but because I've gone after the old pets in there, but now I'm going to go to some new ones that I really don't know the boss fights and all the little special buttons you push and stuff, which is just a side of what I really would be after, of course, is the pets.
Yeah. You haven't spent a year playing Siege of Orgrimmar?
Mm-hmm.
You know those fights?
I don't think I've even
blindfolded.
Right, be a reason why.
The end of Siege of Orgrimmar once.
Yeah, and Seema, I know you love pets, but I was listening to Ben on Azeroth Roundtable today. He's run into a conundrum. He actually has 1,000 unique pets, and that's the cap right now.
Holy crap!
No, it's not.
But he's that's the thing. He's got to get the tokens now to expand the extra 1,000 slots for the new stuff, but he
He's
doesn't
an
have it
amateur.
yet.
He's an amateur. I had to do that in Legion.
Ah,
Oh my.
And
Wow.
there's another one that one
right, for
increases your
1,500.
total. Well, the one in Legion increases it to 1,500, but there's one in BFA that increases it to 2,000.
Ah, gotcha. Sweet. Yeah,
But you
so
have to
that's
have the Legion
great.
one first. It's a whole
Oh.
other world.
Gotcha. So you have to undo the Legion one before you do the BFA
Yes.
one.
There's 2 ways to get the Legion one. See, I'm like so geeky about the pets. The Legion
No,
one
that's great.
you can get via the achievement, or you can buy it with BFA pet tokens.
Gotcha. Yeah, I
and then
think
you
he's
can
going
buy
for
the
the pet
BFA
tokens.
BFA tokens. Yeah.
This is
Gotcha.
Seema's, if you can see on my screen, this is Seema's turtle in
Yeah.
Star Wars. At the moment, she always
I like
has
turtles.
Yes.
the pet out. Some little space turtle of some kind.
Oh, they did. So, Seema, you're going to have trouble on Tuesday when the new patch comes out, and we actually have to play the crab in the.
Yeah, I don't see me
Turtles
doing
don't
that
go.
one at all.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, so cool. So you're doing the pet collecting thing and looking forward to that. That's awesome. All right, Mew, what have you been up to?
Oh well, probably lots of Final Fantasy 14. It's definitely seeing a resurgence, honestly. It's funny how a Twitch Prime thing could do so much, but the game's lively. There's tons to do. They've had some really good patches come out, and yeah, it's definitely got its hooks in me again. And yeah, I don't know. I think I've of course been playing WoW, but pretty much WoW for raiding, and then to help Mrs. Mew with getting through the story.
Awesome.
That's pretty much
Gotcha.
what I've been doing in WoW. It's like it's not calling to me like it usually does lately.
No.
So,
Yeah.
and then other than that, I need to dip my toe back into Anthem. But a lot of my gaming, a lot of my gaming's been delayed because it's probably not too obvious to those looking at the video, but I had to get a whole new setup because my last PC, the CPU decided to start melting. So
That makes it really difficult to do much.
yeah. And amusingly, it was right in the middle of raid with horseshoes and hand grenades.
Oh my god.
I was tanking on the blockade, and the blockade said, "Oh well, let's see if we can just burn his CPU up." That took care of that
Wow.
tank. So it was very effective. Yeah, it was kind of funny because the next day, the next day after I finally got the computer rebuilt, I logged back into WoW, and I think that was when I was playing with Fert. And
You were.
I logged
You
in.
logged in dead.
Yeah, I was staring at Bonsomni on the throne, and I was like, "Huh, well, this is interesting." I don't have a body to go to, so I had to pretty much accept a spirit res, run into the raid, and then tank immediately.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was fun. So luckily we timed it just right. Ted's like, "Let's go," and I still had like 2 minutes left on the buff, but it was enough time that I only had to actually take the brunt of the boss for a little bit between me and Nevermore, and we just because we do the 3 tank strat to those familiar with the first boss, but
Yes.
But yeah, so it was me and Nevermore swapping back and forth. So luckily, I didn't have to hold the boss very long, and then the debuff goes away, and everything's fine. You didn't even notice that I had it, kind of thing. We have really good healers on our team too. So
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
That's been the bulk of my week.
Awesome.
Cool. And McCullough, what have you been up to?
Well, we had a family wedding this weekend, so that was a lot of involvement there, but we got to spend time with one of our long distance geeky relatives, which was delightful. Phoenix Fan Fusion, which is what we now call Comic-Con, is in 10 weeks. So a lot of headbands.
Dun.
And I need to start working on jewelry.
I had a hotel for that.
Sorry?
I had the hotel for that finally.
I know, I saw. Let's see. Rolling dice, because that's what I do. This week played with both of my Tadpool AIE adjacent groups. So on Thursday night, oddly enough, much like our Monday night game, we're on a gambling ship.
Interesting.
Trying to track down some leads on who killed a giant, which got interesting as half our players decided to be posh gamblers, and the Goliath went down deck to row, and my character's like, well, I'm a serving wench. But I might be the one that's going to be able to get the clue on it. We played actually earlier today in my Sunday game, which is one that has some really weird, fun, steampunky Cthulhu elements. And, after the big boss fight, wading through ice as this huge ice lake is cracking, we got to safety as a fallen star emerged from, the bottom of a lake, and pretty sure we're gonna have to roll for initiative in just a moment.
Always how it happens with those fallen stars.
So that's what I've been geeking over, which is a lot of fun.
Awesome.
How about you?
Yes, Tat. What have you been doing?
I have been rating in WoW and Tecum you. It's not that the game isn't engaging; it's just not engaging me like it used to right now. You can only run so many world quests and other things trying to get the emissary bags before you just kind of go, yeah, I'm done. So I do my world quest, log in. I finally got both trinkets are now 385 or higher, which is awesome.
You're still trying to get that one though.
Oh, I still need the one off of Opulence. Yeah, that never got it, and it procced up from 385 to 405, which is awesome for her. So she'll be much easier to heal with that. And then the other thing that's kind of sucked me in and away from Final Fantasy XIV is Anthem. And I finally got through all the storyline in Anthem, the main quest, which then after you do the main quest, there are more side quests and story quests to do. And I just got through all those around level 26. And then right now I'm level 29. The mech just hit epic, which means you get over 410 gear score, and having fun with that. I'm just waiting to hit 30 and see what happens. I've got 2 reps left to max out, and then we're good. But that's where I have been. So if you guys are interested in Anthem, hop in the Anthem channel. There's a good group of people playing, and we have fun doing strongholds and other stuff. So
yep, plenty of tanks, lots of DPS.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, we will be digging into SWTOR shortly, but first let's cover this week's news.
AIE News.
All right. In Streaming and Guild podcast news, Working Class Nerds, episode 38, The State of Star Wars with Sith Talks Sam. See, I got it out. Nick and Marcus are joined by Sith Talk host Sam to discuss and analyze how Star Wars got so big, where it is now, and where it could be going. And SWTOR Escape Podcast 281, member the Dreadmasters? I remember. This week, in addition to hot takes on the Dev Tracker, CM Max the Gray, and EPC 281 open up the archives and start a mini-series talking about the Dreadmasters, which was awesome because I never got that whole arc, and so you guys walking through that was fun. That was a good listen to. And in podcast 282, Dreadmasters from EC to TFB, SEMA, Max the Gray, and EPC 282 continue the walkthrough of the Dreadmasters lore and cover the story elements from, all right, you're going to have to help me with the initials here.
Eternity Vault, Karaga's Palace, Explosive Conflict, and Terror from Beyond for the operations. And each of them are either directly or indirectly related to parts of that Dreadmaster story arc. And then it continues. There's 3 more after that we're going to get into in future episodes. So the Dreadmasters were sort of driving so much of the story originally and through the expansions that
almost from
it was
behind
really
the
fun
scenes, too.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
And then they just kind of went and moved on to
Oricon.
Was it the Hut, or did they play into the Hut part of the story?
So Karaga's Palace.
Right.
That was as a result. indirectly their fault. They were
Right.
waging war on the galaxy. It got Karaga and the Hutt cartels all riled up, and Karaga said, enough of this. I'm going to attack both the Imperial and the Republic. And then the Imperial and the Republic, as they do in every operation, decide that, yes, we have trillions of people, but we're going to send 8 to take care of the
Right.
We're gonna send
existential threat.
8 of our best.
Yeah.
Strike force. It's a strike
And
force.
Tuna.
Now,
Terror
Seema's
from
all-
Beyond. Terror from Beyond is an interdimensional beast that's going to take over our galaxy and kill trillions. We're going to send 8 people.
Send 8 people and see.
Exactly. Yeah.
Too many people is going to slow you down. It's,
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
well, yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. So that is what's been happening in streaming news. If there are other streams you guys want us to mention or talk about, let us know. We'll mention it on the podcast.
Awesome. All right. In Imperial Ludi, just a reminder, we're still going strong with Anthem. It'll be lovely to see more people active in it. If you're playing, make sure to check out the @Anthem channel on the AIE Discord and ping Duris to add your Origin ID to the list of people playing so you can get those alliance bonuses. I know every time I turn around, Tet is certainly played, and it sounds fascinating.
Yep.
And really great voice acting. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
One thing they do right is the voice acting.
You said doo-doo.
Exactly.
Doo-doo. Doo-doo. Yeah. And not in doo-doo news, mandatory fun nights. We have lots of them where the fun is mandatory, but attendance is not. It should be, but it's not. A couple of games have moved days, so make sure you double check when each game is running their mandatory fun night. So, starting on Mondays, we still have Guild Wars 2 at 9:30 Eastern. That's PM. Tuesdays, SWTOR, 9 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday is now where Final Fantasy XIV is hanging out at 10 p.m. Eastern. And on Fridays, we have ESO at 9 p.m. Eastern. On to the weekend. Saturdays is when Noob Raid's running in WoW at 11 p.m. Eastern. And then on Sunday, STO is running at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. Awesome. And speaking of WoW and Noob Raid, we have a bit of brag about Noob Raid. They are now 8 of 8 on Aldir Normal. And their first time ever seeing Gahoon. They killed him on their first pull, which was an accidental pull, and they're like, well, let's just pull and see what happens, and they ended up killing him, which is awesome.
Yeah, that
That's
was
honestly-
the best Kenny thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, honestly, once they got past Zool, the other two bosses are just like fairly straightforward compared to Zool.
Mithrax.
Yeah, Zool's just a mess of here's everything coming at you in a million different directions.
Manage these chaos of kittens.
Well,
Exactly.
Truth be told, Noob Raid is a tiny bit of a misnomer. It's designed that if you are a noob, you can come, but so many of those people in there now are
They're really good.
really good.
Yep.
Really good people that can explain the fights. Keeney running the whole thing is really good at setting it up. So yeah, I was there the last 2 weeks for the Gahoon kill, and then as far as we got, which was pretty far, in Battle for Desire Lore this week.
Yep.
And it was well done. It was easy to figure out what was going on, even my first time seeing some of those fights, and it went great.
Yeah. And speaking of which, they did follow that up by going 2 of 9 in Battle for Desire Lore Normal. And we do want to mention that this week's community
3.
event,
3.
or they
We
did, she said 2 of 9, but yeah, you guys got
We killed the monkey. We killed the first boss, the 3,
Right.
and then we killed the. Then we did we ran the
Jade Fire
gauntlet, the ice
Masters.
gauntlet.
yeah,
And then-
Jade Fire
Cool.
Masters.
All right,
there.
great.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, Jade Fire Masters.
We
And
will
then
update
we
that.
went and saw what we turned into for fun, but we didn't go further than that.
Yeah, exactly. When you go to the opulence fight and turn into the alliance, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Why am I a dwarf? Why am I a night elf?" Yeah, exactly.
Oh, every single
All
night on the Alliance side, my co-tank, every single time we switch over to Horde, just can't
He
let it
won't.
go.
He won't do trash.
He just he can't let it go. He's like, oh, you took away my shadow meld. Now I'm some kind of control. What is this nonsense? It's just every single night. It's getting to where it's just
Just
comical.
put it
It's like,
on tape. Just like tape it one night, and then when they
Yeah.
start, just play it back to them.
yeah.
Exactly.
There you go. Taking care for you.
All right. And this week's community event in WoW is the Trial of Style. And that will be March 20th to the 24th. Gusty Tail will be leading that. So get together with some guildies, get in the group and show off your style. And then next month's community event, April Fools Rush In, will also be led by Gusty Tail for the whole month of April. So watch out for the posts on the AIE-guild.org site on those events.
And as a quick little note, so we don't have a full raid wrap up, but just to say, Get Your Crit Together is at 8 of 9 in Heroic. So
nice.
They are so close to getting guild first on Heroic.
Wonderful.
So, just so everyone knows, keep pushing. It's almost over.
Great.
Yep.
All right, NASO news. The Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood Celebration event started on March 7th and runs until Monday, March 18th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. The event gives double reward drops for World and Delve bosses, increased rewards for completing heists and sacraments, and one event ticket for each sacrament and heist completed each day, per account each day. Excuse me. And also, just a reminder, there's been a lot of movement with mandatory fun nights. NESO, they are still on Friday nights.
So is there a feather? Do you get the tickets to buy a feather with this event set again? I got to find that out because apparently there's like 4 feathers, and if you collect all the feathers, you get the tickets at the events. The tickets then buy the feathers. Then when you get the 4 feathers, then you get this special mount.
Yep.
Why I need the nth mount in the Wythe game, I don't know. But
because sometimes it's what you do.
It's
because you collect mounts like Seema collects pets.
Yes.
Yeah. So interesting. I'm gonna have to find out, I guess.
Speaking of another game to collect mounts in, Final Fantasy XIV. As we talked about before, the free company attendance is way up. So many people are taking advantage of the Amazon Prime deal, also known as the Twitch deal, which gets you a free copy of the Starter Edition, which means just a Realm Reborn, the first game Prime of 2.0. But it also comes with 30 days of game time. So we've seen tons of people applying in there to play. The Starter Edition, as I mentioned, is kind of the vanilla version of the game. It's not the 1.0. 1.0 is they kind of burned it and salted the ground and then started over with 2. But it'll take you up to level 50 all the way through all the 2.0 patches. And a lot of those people are sticking around. They're realizing it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of people that are, maybe a little burnt out in WoW right now are saying, you know what, this is actually kind of nice. I think it's a nice pace. So that deal lasts until May 3rd. So make sure that if you are interested, if you know someone that has a Twitch Prime that's not using it, ask them because that code is pretty valuable. If you don't have it, there's plenty of sales going on. There's a free trial. It'll have to get you up to level 35. You will not be able to join the free company, but we can give you a link shell so you can still talk to us. That way you don't feel like you're left out, and you just want to try it. You don't want to, you don't have the code, don't want to spend money. Other than that, make sure that you get into the channel to talk to everyone because they are starting to run a lot of the 8-player dungeons. They do have brutal queue times. It's probably better off to ask in Discord for people to help you get into those queues because, what could be a 45-minute queue is now 15 seconds if you have the right people going with you. Other than that, Shadowbringer's pre-order items are live. There's a Gremlin pet and there's the Aetherite earrings that give a 30% XP boost all the way to level 70 now. The previous ones from Stormblood only took you up to level 50. So, if you're wanting to level some more stuff to 70, get that boost. Other than that, those that do pre-order, you'll get the code for those items. It's really convoluted. You have to use a code to go to a site. That site's going to give you a new code. You're going to go to another site, and then you're going to put that code into the actual account to give your stuff. It's really convoluted. You'll want to follow one of the guides to get to it. The other important thing is that the data centers are being redistributed. Goblin, where the AIE FC is going to be moving to the Crystal Data Center. So we're staying there for now. As far as we're now, there's no plans to leave, but we'll be in Crystal now. We'll be leaving the Aether Data Center. that might affect statics and other things like that. So be aware. There will be free transfers, so don't worry. Once this whole thing starts happening, you'll be able to transfer you where you want to go, and no big deal. Other than that, we have a seasonal event, Little Ladies Day. It will be ending on the 13th, which is in 3 days. So get in there, get the flower crown and some fun housing items. They tend to be cherry blossom themed. I think there is this. They do have the daisy crown, but it's usually cherry blossom themed, and with some sushi and some other fun stuff. Other than that, that's probably about it. There will be a fan fest, the final fan fest, the one that's actually running in Tokyo on March 23rd to 24th. Unlike the one in North America and the one in Europe, things are not going to be in English. You're going to have to find some live translations, because this is the home base. They're going to be in Japan talking to all of their local customers, so it's all going to be in Japanese. So, but there's plenty of streams that'll be live translating, so you won't be too missing out of things. But we're expecting Yoshi P to come out in yet another weird costume and finally give us the full trailer for the expansion, and we're expecting one more class at least to go with Gunbreaker. And that's probably about it. Lots of stuff happening, so join in.
Yep. And just a reminder from Abo, the Twitch Prime deal is for PC only. It does not work on the Mac, does not work on Steam, and does not work on PS4. So, and in Star Trek Online news, STO continues again to run MFN on Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Characters level 10, which is Lieutenant Commander and up, are welcomed. And on the game news front, on April 11th, they will be shutting down the Foundry system. The Foundry was a tool used for players to create content for the game. So what this means for the future going forward, we don't know yet, but just keep an eye out on the STO channel in AIE Discord, and I'm sure we'll have more news as things settle out from that.
Yeah, it was a very bold system, honestly, and it doesn't surprise me that they're having to shut it down.
Okay, and in LOTOR news, we got a bit. We have to have LOTOR news. The skirmish event has been extended until March 18th at 3 a.m. Eastern time. Legendary Story XP has been reduced from 60%, of normal to 80% of normal through March 13th, which is this Wednesday. The last week's store sale has expired. This week's store sale is now live and will be extended to last for the regular sales duration. Meanwhile, next week's sales will begin on Friday as normal. The current sale is get a piece of your Middle Earth Shine. So you get 30% off of select housing decorations, select housing sets, housing property writs, and select cloaks. One of these things is not quite like the other. Additionally, Bomber's Bounty is now available through St. Patrick's Day on March 17th. Finally, they wanted to let everyone know that they're working to put together a package of things to say thank you for being patient through all the work as they work through various data center related issues in the recent days. The following coupon codes, LOTOR points, VP time extensions have been granted or made. They'll provide more information in the coming days, probably earlier in the week. All players, by the way, due to this inconvenience, will receive a coupon code for a free appreciation box containing 5 100% XP boosts, 5 enhancement XP supplies, 5 tomes of defense, 2,000 figments of splendor, 3 rapid crafting boosts, and an assortment of seasonal dyes, 1 per account. The expiration end of April. There we go. Additionally, VP players will receive a VP subscription extension, 250 LOTOR points automatically granted to their account if they've logged in during the previous 30 days. And premium players who have logged in during the previous 30 days will receive 250 LOTOR points.
Okay, and Secretive Eve news. The AIEU super capital fleet grows with the addition of the Reasonable Reasons 3, an Avatar class Titan, bringing the total number of corporation super capital to redacted. And we are also building capital ships at the request of members at reasonable prices. War is on the horizon. Come back and fulfill your bloodlust. Our non-invasion pact with Test Alliance ends on the 22nd of March. For current AIEU members, all personnel must be registered in the AIEU seat, Blades of Grass seat, Winter Coalition seat, and Winter Coalition services by March 15th. Purge to follow. Link has an Eve meetup in LA in about 24 hours, which might be happening now, actually.
If it is, it's redacted, though.
Yes.
Yep. All right. And with all that said, let's get back to Seema and Max and find out what is going on in SWTOR.
Yes. There is plenty going on in Star Wars. So we're right at the tail end of a set of content before the announcement of what might be coming next later in the year, which I know that they're going to be saving for Star Wars Celebration. But as part of that, they've still been putting out a continuation of sort of this new storyline, this end of the Alliance and a renewal of war between the Empire and the Republic. And as a result, even recently, we got another planet. We got another gear tier associated with that planet. Just a few weeks ago, we got another lair boss, which is sort of like a one boss raid operation. So bunch of good stuff like that going on. Seema, what I mean, where should we start?
Actually, I call it 2 tiers of gear. I mean, I might be stretching it a little bit, but I think some people will never get that higher.
The 252 versus 258, and
yeah, that's
the
why
masterwork.
Anyway,
yeah.
So I guess I'll start with dailies. So there's with this new planet, we do have a new set of dailies, and that's part of how you get the new rep and also the new gear. So that's been fun to log in most of the days and knock out some dailies. The really entertaining part has been the 2 new world bosses, which are which you pug.
You're being generous with entertaining.
for some definition of entertaining, but yeah.
I'm entertained by extreme things sometimes, but it's worth running them every day. So there's always pugs running them. So it is entertaining because every group has a little bit different personality, and there were a few bugs in each fight. So this like mythology has grown up around each fight, like don't do this or don't run back or res, but don't do this, or else he'll bug out. And of course, little of it's true, but
and one of the bosses is
like
a literal bug as well. So
yeah,
I mean, there's that too.
But yeah, it's pretty fun. I mean, one pug I got into was clearly a bunch of really sort of full-time PvP guys, and they were the most polite group I've ever been in.
Wow.
Really?
It was incredible. They were like, oh, they saw each other. They go, oh, I'm so glad to see you. It's been a while. And oh, look at this guy. He's a great healer. And oh, look, Seema, thank you for coming. And blah, 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 blah.
Really?
Crazy. And I had a weird little hiccup at the end where I got disconnected and I came back in and they were all, Seema, did you get credit? And I'm like, yes, thank you.
Well, they must be like non-ranked PvPers because we have a couple people.
Yeah.
I have this fantasy that there's like PvP people, but at the very top, there's this like angelic crust of
the best of the best is actually the
Or they
pros
were
are
killing you somehow. Just
Like the SWTOR PvP fight club.
yeah.
Yes.
yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, it is interesting. So those world bosses are a thing we do. The dailies are a thing we do on the planet Osis. The reason though is the new gear, the new gear tiers. I mean, so there is a reason to be doing it, and everybody wants to do it, and we're all getting together to do this stuff. And the lair boss. So it's 252 and 258 gear. Did you want me to read off the stats on all my gear pieces?
No. No.
You're the one
we're
that
not
wants to make the
doing that.
movie, dude. You know what? You can't. We're fine with it, but
Yeah.
So
Max has movie tickets.
yeah, so if you do 10 of the dailies in a week, you get a piece of gear. It's random out of 3 boxes. So your 14, 15, 16 pieces are divided up into 3 different boxes. So you do get random pieces. There is a little bit of RNG, but you get a crate, a random crate for the 10 dailies. You get the crystals, which are a currency for killing the world bosses. And then there's a couple other ways to get both crates and crystals throughout the week. So that's why we're all doing it. But they designed the planet really well. That the dailies are interesting. The storyline of the dailies I find really interesting, and it doesn't make it bad because there's so many of them. There's really like, I think there's like 12 or 14 that you could do, and you don't have to do them all in one day. So if there's 3 that you really like, you could just do those 3-4 days.
If I'm really good for time, I just log in, do a couple, because if you do that like 3 or 4 times during the week, you get your gear, basically your gear piece, or your chance at a gear piece.
And none of them are terrible, like, that you're always going to skip because, it takes you forever versus the one that takes 3 minutes. They're all pretty balanced. And then the thing I really like about it, again, it's the storyline of Imperial versus Republic. When you do them on the Imperial side, you're doing a daily in an area. And when you're doing the same daily on the Republic side, you're like undoing. You're not actually fighting people, but your daily is to undo the things that the Imperial side does. So
that's fabulous.
The Imperial side, like destroying all of the turrets, and the Republic side, you walk around to the turrets that haven't popped up yet, and you need to build the turrets.
So do you walk in and say, "What are you doing? I just redid this," when it's you when you're the one that are doing both, and
I have done a little RP.
Yeah. You have that little internal dialogue. I just fixed that.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Are you kidding me? It's hilarious.
Yeah, and if you go around and put out all the fires you just set on the other side. Right.
Let me make some content for myself.
I don't know if people actually do this, but if you were to go play on the PvP instance, I'm sure, because the way the dailies are, they throw the 2 factions together.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
People who like to take advantage of that, it could make some really interesting world PvP.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's always a PvP map. There's no PvP servers anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a couple servers in the world, a couple in Europe, a couple in the US. You can always switch over to that map. And we have a couple people that just play on those maps. They're typically less populated than the other ones, but I know like Thon is always in there, and every once in a while he'll get cornered or he'll corner somebody and they have a good time. So that's pretty cool. What else we got? So that's been fun. The new Queen Lair boss is really fun. It's a fun fight. It's a Genosian queen with Killick DNA to bolster her. So there's debate on the forums. People don't like that it's not just a pure Genosian model.
Which means that she's a bug person that's augmented with bug DNA, basically.
Right, yeah.
Double bug.
Yeah.
See, there's a lot of bugging going on right now.
Yeah.
But that fight, I was going to say ironically, but that's a little harsh for the fight word, but that fight is not buggy. That fight tends to work really well. And one of our favorite things for our guild to do is find ways to kill each other.
There's a great opportunity here for that.
Yeah, there's a perfect the perfect opportunity as you clear the trash and sort of wind your way down into this hive lair. You have to use these built-in bombs to break your way through a wall and break your way through the floor and then drop down into our lair. Well, somebody walks up to the bomb, breaks it open. It's got a 30-meter radius, and you have to like jump up on some rocks to get back out of that radius. So if people aren't prepared for it, if they haven't been in there before, you're guaranteed to kill someone.
I'm never prepared for it because I've been in there before, but it's like green tunnels of green rock, and it's like
It is awesome. I think we've killed 6 of 8 in one blast on an 8-person, and I think in a 16-person we killed at least 12. So
was that Marcus both times?
Marcus
on the 16 one. Yeah.
So that is hilariously awesome.
Our old raid leader Magia should come back so we can kill him with the bomb.
Set me up the bomb.
Exactly.
What else we got? We got PvP. Not too many people in the guild do much PvP, but we do have a couple. And PvP goes through seasons. They just finished up season 10, so that's interesting if you're a PvPer. There is a way. In order to get 258 weapons, there's a very elite currency that you need to get 4 of to upgrade your 252 weapon to 258. You can do the veteran mode queen fight, which I don't think anyone in the guild has even done yet. So there's sort of progression there to go after. And the other way is to do ranked PvP. We do have a couple people in the guild that have been trying, or they have been doing it. They've been doing the ranked PvP, and they said that is not fun. So that's why I was surprised. due to the people being mean. So
Well,
I'm not going to go on there.
Yeah, the actual PvP people do not appreciate when the PvP noobs come through just for a PvE reason.
But Fawn's not a noob, and Medulla's not a noob. I mean, these guys are really good. It's if you lose, you blame it on whoever is nearest to you in
Well, I mean, Thon is a
harsh terms as you can.
Yeah.
When Thon went in as a sniper, they told him, "Sniper, don't queue."
Wow, that sounds like Children's Week in WoW. Anyway,
Thank you again for finishing.
Exactly. At least Children's Week is only 2 weeks or whatever it is.
Yeah,
but the PvP play, like the PvPers hate.
Oh yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah. Well, suck it up.
Yep, suck up.
What about the guild features, Seema?
Another thing we've been playing with recently is there's been a whole bucket of new guild features. One is that you now can level your guild, and with the process of leveling your guild, you get access to different perks, and the perks you can purchase via currency that you get from leveling. And you can level via your guild members doing conquests. So we've been leveling at a pretty good clip, it seems like, because we do. Well, it's hard not to do conquest,
right?
Content, because you get conquest points for just about every aspect of the game. But yes, as you unlock different parts of your guild flagship, then you can buy different perks, and the perks last for 2 weeks or a month. They have a termination time. So I think they did okay at designing it to be a system that continues to be alive. Like even when we finish leveling up, which I don't know when that will be, we will still want to buy perks and pay attention to perks.
Yeah.
And so the perks involve all kinds of things. There's perks for like increasing mounted speed. There's even a perk for increasing your main stat. There's perks for crafting and perks for gathering and perks for just about everything. But as a guild, you decide which perks you want to buy. They're not cheap. They're pretty.
No, it takes a village, which they're designed to do, which is fine, right. And they also rotate. So the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. But next week, there might be a different set of some perks in the rotation. So there's a little bit of, you get some fun decisions to make as a guild and as a group. And that's what we've been doing is, okay, well, what perks do we want to slot? Hey, this one's coming up, or this one's going to come up next week, and we're going to want to slot the experience boost if we can get it, yada, yada, yada. And this is all tied, a lot of this is tied into also the conquest system, which is the guild achievements that you're doing throughout the week and getting rewarded for doing those achievements. That's been a big focus of our guild for a while now, for months. Everyone gets together. We figure out, we've got a couple of our officers who are sort of leads, B. Kavanaugh and Zen, who figure out what the strategy is going to be for the week, because there's different targets you can go after. You go after a medium target, you have to make your goal at the medium target as a guild to get the medium level goal. But if you set yourself as the large target and you go after that goal, you get a little bit more rewards. But you don't want to set the large target and not make it. And BC and Zen are very scientific about how they go after it. They've got spreadsheets and data, and it's been great. And it gets everybody an opportunity for a bit of a meta game for things that we want to do and reasons to get together and reasons to be playing the game. They've done a good job in sort of creating this system and setting it up.
Yeah, each week with Conquest, it's a little bit different event. So BC is able to look back at his numbers and say, okay, this time it's Deathmark, and the last 7 times we've made medium and we've only made large once. And that helps it that helps us make the decision what we're going to go for that week. Like we know if we want to go for large, there's going to be a week with no other distractions. And right now, OSIS is a big distraction for all of us.
Right. So we went medium this week, and we made our target. We made our targets just fine. We're not anywhere near what would have been needed for the large target, though. So this was a good choice. Yeah. The other thing we do is we play on both factions. We play on Imperial and Republic, and each week we switch. So the main focus for the guild is the opposite faction each week. So this is an Imperial week this week. We invaded the larger planet on the Imperial side. Next week's going to be Republic. Our mandatory fun night will be Republic characters for that. Conquest will be Republic focused. That gives everybody a chance to play their characters on both sides, and the people that maybe even only play mostly on one side to get some, to get some support and get some get some guild love there going on. Yeah, so that has been cool. You want to talk about the actual guild activities themselves? We've been talking a little bit about the MFN in particular.
Yes, well, I just want to say about MFN, we're still switching back and forth every week. Meaning that 1 week we do it on the Imperial side and 1 week we do it on the public side, and we coordinate that with our conquest efforts. So this week, for instance, we're on the Imp side with MFN and with our focus on conquest. Next week we'll be on the pub side. And then another comment about events is we had our February Mega, which stands for, I can never remember what it stands for.
Epic Guild Activity.
Yeah, why I can never remember the M is from monthly. But anyway, it's monthly epic guild activity. In February, we did a sort of a Datacron crawl, including the new Datacrons on OSIS. So that was cool. And then we went and killed the lair boss on 16-man, which was pretty epic because that was one of those fights that looked like it was just not going to happen. But in the end, it did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always fun to be challenged, and then we ran like a couple minutes late. Usually we have a hard cutoff. We ran just a couple minutes late, and bang, we killed that.
Yeah, we got it on the last pull. You know how it is.
It's amazing. The last pull, the boss died.
Last pull mojo.
And then
Exactly.
the March Mega is going to be PvP on the pub side, and don't be too afraid by the PvP aspect of it because we're going to do it most likely in a private war zone. So in other words,
yes,
we do have the ability now to like take a war zone and it'll just spin up our own instance of it. So it'll be like AIE people playing on both teams, and we can use that opportunity to teach that particular game and so it won't like
this is a feature they added in 5.10.
Yeah.
And we've only used it a couple times, but each time we have, it's been great. So both with Galactic Starfighter, which is sort of starship PvP, and with regular Warzone PvP, you get to pick the map you want. You set up two groups. You say, I'm going to challenge this group leader, whatever group size, and you pick the map you want. You pick the game type you want, if there are alternate game types, and you just get to go in there. So the opportunity to even just to go into the maps and walk around and check it out and take a look without people, without other people running around shooting you in the face. That's a really fun part of it too.
I used to PvP a lot in WoW, and I always think about, wouldn't it be, now that we have this feature in SWTOR, like it'd be like cool if you could just go take your guild into like Arathi Basin and just have a party.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just have some old-fashioned guildy on guildy violence.
Yep.
Right.
Or just eat lemon lime basil shortcake.
So tomorrow night we are celebrating Kenny's birthday during games. That's actually part of the dessert.
Nice.
Nice. And then, as so we kicked off this whole discussion about what's coming and when the next big announcements are going to be, and that's Star Wars Celebration. So Star Wars Celebration is coming in April. Star Wars Celebration is in Chicago, my hometown. It's the Chicago way. I will be there. I will be there. I've got tickets for me and the kids. We got a bunch of guildies that are going to be there. We're going to have BioWare is going to be there, of course.
Right.
They're going to have a big event on Saturday night that there's the SWTOR Cantina events where they've done these periodically throughout the years. So they'll have some of their game producers, their devs there for that Saturday night event at the Marriott Marquis at the convention center. Friday night, we're going to have an AIE meetup. So if you're in Chicago, whether or not you have tickets to Star Wars Celebration, Friday night, downtown in the Loop, Marriott residence, we're going to be having a meetup there.
Awesome.
That I will be sponsoring.
So here's the big question for you two, and I know you've kind of joked back and forth on the Escape podcast about this, but realistically, what do you expect to come? What do you expect for them to announce? And then we have to play SEMA. What date is it actually going to come out?
There we go.
But I mean, are we expecting a 6.0, or is there maybe a curveball coming, or what do you think's actually coming out of the Cantina?
Well, I'll give my prediction. SEMA can give her prediction, and then SEMA can name the date. And that comes from SEMA, I think it was 5.10. Just randomly, months ahead of time, SEMA accidentally set a date.
Yeah.
And then it was that date. So
it was.
She apparently, maybe she slipped and she just knows she's got the inside knowledge. Or maybe she's from the future.
Nostradamus.
Yep.
She's a Bioware plant in our guildie.
My expectation is that, yes, at Star Wars Celebration, they will announce 6.0. 6.0 will be a regular kind of expansion like they've had in the past.
Ooh.
There'll be 1 or 2 operations. There'll be another planet. There'll be 10 levels. Who knows what other little goodies they might throw in. They often like to add a new game feature, game system. I'd love things like, like Pazak tables in the game that actually work or something like, I don't know, but my prediction is, it's just going to be a 6.0 regular expansion type release. What do you think, Seema? And then
I think they absolutely are going to say something and call it 6.0. I don't know that we're going to get a lot about what's going to be in it. But I would love to be pleasantly surprised. And my prediction date was, I think it was October. It's either the 8th,
October 11th or something.
Yeah, I'm looking at October 2019, and the 8th and the 15th are Tuesdays. The 11th would be a Friday. So I forget if I said the 8th or the 15th, but second week of October. That's my date prediction.
Gotcha. So do you think and I don't want to call it lack of content, because there has been content, but it's just not been kind of what you expect from an expansion. Do you think that's because they've been like, okay, we can get this little bit of content out while we're working on all this over here, and then we can get a little bit of this out to keep them busy while we work on all this out here, and they're coming out with something really big? Or do you think it's going to continue to be this trickle of, here's a initial like 6.0 content, and then we wait 3 months for the next little piece of it?
I think it's going to be that.
Yeah,
there's going to be some initial thing for 6.0, but it may not have an operation right on day one. It might. I mean, they could prove me wrong.
I don't think it'll be. I think it'll take a while to develop. I think they will, though, develop it. I don't think they'll do what they did for the last operation, which was Gods from the Machine, which is
right.
They did
piece by piece.
Time.
Yeah.
I think that was the right decision at the time. I don't think they want to do it that way again. But it's also not the biggest MMO in the world it doesn't have the biggest budget in the world. So I think, unfortunately, although yes, we'd like a big expansion every year or every 2 years, I just don't think that that's the world that we live in. But my guess is they would like to get back to an actual expansion, a nice packaged, well-formed actual expansion
with additional character levels and a new planet and place to do the leveling. I definitely see that coming.
Expansions are still the best way to get eyes on the game.
Yeah,
eyes wandered elsewhere.
Yeah. And just an influx of players, and that are free via Twitch.
Yeah, because there's definitely a difference between, hey, we're putting out new content in a 5.x patch versus, hey, we're putting out new content in a 6.0 patch.
Right.
Yeah.
Just from a perception, at least for me. So.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool. Well, anything else? Because I think we're right up against. We need to get
I
Max
think it's
to his
movie
movie.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, with that is our show tonight. While the chat room begins suggesting show titles where we make them up on our own, we want to thank Seema and Max for joining us.
Thank you for
guys
having us.
very much.
Thank you, guys.
Always a good time.
And Max, I know eventually we're going to get back to some streaming after the show, but I think that's on hiatus right now, correct?
Yes.
Especially with the movie you've got to go to.
Yeah, especially tonight.
I'll put the word out, put the shout out there. What I would like is a couple streamers from each of our divisions to let me know that to give me a call, talk to me, and to do a regular Sunday night rotation through the divisions. And we have some awesome streamers out there. Dan Kinya is probably our top streamer in the guild, both for ESO and New Braid and a few other things on her AIE things on her channel, Dan Kinya Plays, twitch.tv/Dan Kinya Plays. But I know there's more people out there that do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let me know. We'll put you on the official AIE guild channel. And that's sort of what I want that Sunday night thing to be.
That'd be perfect.
Need to see more of me.
Awesome.
To you, they don't.
Okay, and if you have questions or concerns about our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can follow us on Twitter. The show is at the AIE at AIE Podcast. Mew is at the Mew Cow. I am at Cyberwave, and Tet is at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us on our website, AIE-guild.org. Look for the /podcast-live-stream. And our Discord server for chat is bit.ly/AIE Podcast Discord. Our theme, of course, is composed by the wonderful Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, keyswithsoul.com.
And now it's time to play all the great AIE member segments we received this week, including Overly Dramatic News by Hunts the Wind.
Huzzah!
Yep. And Buxley will be coming back. Ask Buxley will. He's just very busy at the moment with real life. And next time we will be talking to someone about some game, or we may do an all-host show. We'll see. Tune in and find out.
Just roll some dice and figure out which one.
Exactly. So until then, AIE, this is Tetsemi.
This is Makala.
This is Mewcow.
And this has been the AIE Podcast. Yay!
Hey.
Annapolis says good night, everyone, and type pilot fighter. Oh, sorry, Corley.
Corley?
Hey, Corley.
Hey, Corley.
Time change get you?
Time change, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's in Arizona, so it couldn't have affected him. So
It still affects you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, watching stuff with the wife. Yes, that would do it.
You know what? That's way more important than joining us.
Yes.
Importanter? Did you
Yes,
say that
I said it
word?
on purpose.
Importanter.
Okay.
I said it on purpose.
I think that's a word.
Importanter.
It totally is.
Far more importanter.
Yes.
Grammar's killing me. All right.
You left out the Oxford comma, so I had to.
There you go.
We need show titles. Somebody suggest some show titles.
I know.
That's okay. No, Seema predicts the future of SOTOR is rather appropriate. Oh, Atlas Not Bird was the word.
No, I got denied. I tried.
It's turtles all the way down.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's it. So yeah, every time Seema Max forgets, or no, you forget what the E in Mega stands for, then Max has to read off his stats. I don't know if you remember.
I always forget what the E stands for, but I usually also forget what the M stands for. It's just
There you go. I think it's actually what is monthly epic guild activity.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
I finally got to the point where I can remember guild
The month.
activity.
What does it stand for? That activity we have once a month. What is the M stand for? I don't know. It's monthly. No, that's not it.
All right. So we have three titles.
all the way
You guys pick.
I think it's probably something with turtles. I mean, the SEMA Predicts the Future is
Boring.
Yeah.
Oh wait, here, there we go. We're just going to combine the two. SEMA Predicts the Future of Star Wars. It's turtles all the way down.
Perfect.
There you go.
There you go.
long title.
That's fine. We don't care about title length.
Yeah. It's our damn show.
Yep.
It's our damn show. I'll label it whatever I want. There we go.
Can't stop us.
All righty.
Cool. Well, thank you, Max. Thank you, SEMA. Max, get out of here. Go to your movie.
All right.
And thank
The
you
girl
guys
who are
for all
dying.
you
Emmy's
do.
here in the bathroom, so hopefully we'll be ready to go for sushi soon.
Awesome.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Night, chat room.